It's not about just the products. I feel like Yoni is becoming something bigger than the product, but like having more societal impact. That's also what I enjoy a lot, like in my daily work. So everywhere, like we take menstruation with us. My colleagues in the team, I love it. They say we take menstruation everywhere with us.
Oh, that's a cool
You're
way
at
to go
work,
about
at
it.
school, like it's part of us. So,
you cannot really put it in the back pocket and be like, oh, it's not for
exactly.
today. Yeah,
I just want to avoid. Yeah, well, there are ways, maybe skip it, but normally it's just from our ages, like 12, let's say, around like. Until for a long time, it's just part of your biology. So
it's for your whole life. That's true. Hello and welcome to Popping Bubbles podcast. I'm your host Lisa. Welcome back. Today we have a very exciting conversation, and we have a new guest, a CEO of Yoni. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you could introduce yourself and tell a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm Deniz Er Wiedhaup, CEO at Yoni. Joined Yoni 2 years ago. And actually I started my career with something more like a traditional, like with strategy consulting, worked at BCG. And so that time, like I worked on very different, exciting projects, like but all different industries, like banking, telecom, pharma. Even like I worked on a case of tractors, Indian tractor company, been there. So like it was all cool. But first time I did my FMCG project, like consumer packaged consumer goods project. So I thought, okay, this is what I really like, because I really like feeling the products. I like supermarket shelves. So I wanted to focus more like on FMCG and retail. So after actually working 6 years in consulting, I decided to switch to the industry. So I joined Coca-Cola here in the Netherlands. And so it's a great school, I mean, like in FMCG, like you learn a lot. And also in commercial, like thinking and cooperating with customers like Albertine, Jumbo, and thinking about like how we can actually optimize the category and make sure it's more healthy and that type of things, I really enjoyed. But at some point, like at every birthday party with my friends, I was getting this question. So there's a lot of sugar in it, there's plastics, what are you going to do about it? And like, even though we were like doing our best, like still it is plastic and there is sugar in it. So even we try to promote more like zero, like iced teas and so on. It is. So, and I thought, okay, that time e-commerce was like really booming and developing. So I decided to actually do something different and joined bol.com. Great Dutch company, also learned a lot. And it was also interesting because when I was there, the COVID came, and then it was interesting to see also that
how it impacted the internet retail.
Yeah, exactly. So again, like, and I had always like somehow like some things came up to me, like on my path. So then this Turkish company came called Getir, like in quick commerce, and I thought, I'm from Turkey. I thought like if I can be part of this great story, building the company in Europe. And so I thought, okay, I really loved Bol, but I thought I'll just take this adventure. And it was completely different story, the mindset. And in a couple of months, we launched like 7 countries. And I felt like sort of I was in a video game, I was seeing like orders and growing. But the mindset was really like impressive, like you decide on doing something just to the point, like with the team, and you do it. So it was really amazing to see. And I started liking the startup culture a lot. And again, like and then like Yoni came to me. So first of all, like the founder of Yoni, I really had an amazing click with her. I admired her, like what she built, and I have to say I didn't know Yoni even myself. Like I was not using the products. And 2 years ago I was 42 and I started using the products. I thought, oh, what did I miss in my life? Like such a huge difference. And I have 2 daughters myself. Like they are 11 and 8. I thought, okay, I really want to do something good for them, and but for all the women, and also like all the sustainability, of course, aspect of it. So I joined Yoni 2 years ago. Yeah,
that's amazing. Was it difficult to switch from this traditional retailer that, like you talked about, like Coca-Cola, bol.com, and then go to a bit of a, I think I would say lower scale, maybe startup with a bit of a different strategy?
Yeah, so it's different, of course. Like a smaller team, and but everybody believes in the mission, so it's more different. You know, I could easily say in the team like who believes in the sustainability aspect, or who believes really in the feministic and like a more female empowerment aspect. So that's really like I really like that a lot. So, but it's different. You know, there are not like big departments, so it makes it also easier.
Yeah.
But it's also you don't have big resources,
Yeah.
so you have to be more creative. Like we don't have huge marketing budgets like Coca-Cola would have, so we have to be more creative, like how we talk about the brand. But that mission leads this company really. Like that's what I was looking for.
So I'm guessing this budget situation is one of the challenges of working in this type. Any other challenges you've met in the past years? Here?
Other than that, it's also retail business,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we are still at the shelves of Albertine Ethos, so this is also how the brand was born. Also, like the founder had that vision, like we should be really on retail shelf instead of like being in a small niche store. So that's why on the other side, it's just you have to manage also the normal retail dynamics, of course.
Yeah.
So
and how to compete with the retail giants who just occupy all the shelves in the store.
Exactly. So we call us a challenger brand. So yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
There are big giants, and they've been in the industry for a long time, of course. And but like it's not that easy to challenge them because it's about the product, it's the way we communicate.
Yeah.
It's about breaking taboo, so it's not that easy.
Breaking any kind of habit is crazy difficult. So let's talk about Yoni. So you already touched upon the company, and if you would have to describe the mission of the company in like one sentence, how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, we believe that vaginas deserve better care.
Yeah.
So that's also like what we believe in. So there's, of course, different ways of explaining that one. But in the sense that the products are healthier, they are the conscious choice, and for your like health, but also for the environment. Of course, that's one leading thing. But the other thing is just, it's not about just the products. I feel like Yoni is becoming something bigger than the product, but like having more societal impact. That's also what I enjoy a lot, like in my daily work. So everywhere, like we take menstruation with us. My colleagues in the team, I love it. They say we take menstruation everywhere with us.
Oh, that's a cool
You're
way
at
to go
work,
about
at
it.
school, you know, like it's part of us. So,
You cannot really put it in the back pocket and be like, oh, it's not for
exactly.
today.
I just want to avoid. Yeah, well, there are ways maybe you can skip it, but normally it's just from our ages like 12, let's say around like until for a long time it's just part of your biology. So
it's for your whole life. That's true.
Yeah.
You started already talking about the impact that Yoni is making. It's been around for some time. Was there a moment where you just saw something about Yoni, or I don't know, you felt it like, oh, okay, we've made this real impact?
Yeah, I'm thinking like, I'm here 2 years, of course. Like, of course, next to changing the conversation, what I'm more proud of is like the topic around period poverty. So like I said, I'm 2 years here, but before I joined, Yoni was already like working on this topic. It's becoming now more and more people are aware of it. There's more like in media, or like a lot of NGOs are working on it. But that's something when I think about it, like Yoni has been already like talking about this more than a long time ago, I think for 5 years. So there's a campaign we call Pay for a Period. So because we have our own resources, limited resources, but there are a lot of people actually donate via us to like institutions like Armoedefonds in the Netherlands. But also we expanded a little bit outside the Netherlands now, like in Germany and in the UK, we work with organizations. In the Netherlands, there's a great organization called Neighborhood Feminists, actually. We are going even there tomorrow to do some volunteer work to help them. So that's, I think, like that period poverty really struck me, because I also didn't know, and many people don't know about it, I think. So that makes me proud of it, that Yoni was, even though people see us maybe more like premium brand, but we are really trying to make a societal impact. And especially, I mean, if you talk about poverty, it's easy, but period poverty is, again, a taboo. It's unseen. Like, and like we get calls from schools sometimes. They tell us like there are some girls that are not showing up. Can you donate us products? My heart breaks really. Like I said, I have 2 daughters. I cannot imagine like what it must be like to have young daughters, and they cannot go to school.
Before we started recording, you mentioned that you have some like educational materials that you provide. Can you tell us more about it?
So I mean, like we were also discussing, like there are a lot of questions, like women have a lot of questions, and about in general their health. They see things changing in their body, and like we realize, like in time, I mean, these questions come to Yoni as well, which is interesting, even though we are just a company with products, but women, I think, trust us, and then they know like we care about the health also concerns of the women. So we started getting questions, like, I have very heavy menstruation, or the color is not good, or like very simple questions, hey, which tampon shall I use? So that's why we thought like we should start this education platform, and we are not the physicians or gynecologists, but we can actually give room to the experts, to write blogs for us, and like I really have like journalists that they talk about really scientific information. So we started doing that. So that's something really also slowly is growing. Like I said, if we would have bigger budgets, I think we could have accelerated it, but really started it. And which is very nice is like we get approached a lot by these experts. They want to contribute. So that's really nice. Because like I said, we don't have really scientists in our teams, but we get approached to bring Yoni's perspective about consumer behavior, like what women want as products, or like what the questions are. So we bring that, but usually we try to partner if there's a research with really institutions like with universities, for example. So that's more important for us, raising the questions, and then universities try to access these subsidies or funds. But in general, there's like little funds, that's the thing. And especially I think in Europe, less than even in the US. But it's changing though, but still like a percentage of funding that goes to female health is very little, very limited still.
That's very sad. And considering that probably it needs improvements constantly, that's a bit sad to witness. But also I was looking through the website, and I just have to say that I love the branding. It's just something that I caught myself thinking the other day. I went to I think I went grocery shopping, and I was like, let me check the pads aisle. And I just caught myself thinking that I am personally looking for maybe something that is healthy for my body, that is kind of doesn't, how to put it, not like doesn't stand out, but for example, if I see a big brand name, I personally have less trust in that. I don't know what it is about me, but it just something that I've figured out myself. And knowing about Yoni and having seen the website, it's very it makes it easier for you to trust the brand, because it's very open, and it's giving you the true nature. It's the goal also. Good observation. That's amazing. But I also can understand maybe some people might not be super happy about it, because periods have been such a taboo topic, and we are so used to those advertisements on TV that are very much like, oh, flowers, and like, oh, true. Beauty of women. Have you ever experienced or heard about any kind of, I wouldn't say backlash, but maybe some disapprovements about the way Yoni does things?
Not from the consumers, because I think what we get is positive feedback. Like when they look at the shelf, like there's a lot of colors and flowers and like plastics packaging. So what they appreciate a lot is we are clean and like to the point. What's in the product is on the package, So that's been the strategy. So not from the consumers really, but I have to say the biggest challenge for us is like getting censored a lot, because we are more outspoken. We say vagina, right? And then or we are not afraid of showing body parts and things like that. But it gets like censored a lot. Like if an organic content on social media is a way for us to share our message. If it gets blocked or posts deleted, that makes it very difficult for us. So that's, I think, one of the main concerns also for female health, Like even a research project, let's say, not about the Yoni, every time there's like a vagina in it, and it's project about vaginal microbiome. How can I talk about it without writing the word vagina, right? Like we get our post get deleted, it doesn't get any reach. It's part of the body, right? Like it's with the university, like a very credible research. Like we cannot even talk about that, so that makes our lives very easier. But sometimes it puts money behind it, then it's different story, of course. But that's the current problem, I have to say. Like I think I know many companies like us, they say they face the same problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's very unfortunate, especially because, as we mentioned before, it's a very important topic to talk about. Exactly. And so with that, it just, most censorship just leads to the topic not being raised as much. But we already talked a little about universities and how universities use the products. Do you see that universities maybe became more open to partnerships in the recent years?
Exactly. Yeah. Both research partnerships, but also like having products more freely accessible. So there's no regulation in the Netherlands, right? Like for example, Scotland was 2020 the first country that said like all public spaces, like schools, universities, they should have like offices, like a free period products. So we are not there as Netherlands, unfortunately, but we see like universities are like starting to change, and some companies as well. And I always say, like, make a joke. Yeah, if you go to the office, do you take toilet paper with you? No, right? So period products should be as accessible as like normal like soap or toilet paper at the restrooms. So we see universities definitely approaching us, and also they want sustainable products, of course. So that's really positive for us, because I think the students try and see products themselves, so they will make the switch. So I believe more the young generation here, like, who are bringing the change.
Yeah, 100%. No, because I also notice in my own university, it's me and my friends, we know the bathrooms, because we have those little boxes for period products, and there are some bathrooms that we just know nothing is ever there. Yeah. But we also know those bathrooms where they always restock it. So we're like, okay, like if anyone starts the period or like feels like they might start the period, they're like, okay, by going to that building, to that bathroom, which is a bit sad, because at the same time it should be accessible, because
if you're a bathroom actually.
Because that shouldn't be a situation where you're like you have, I don't know, 5 minutes before your next class, and you're like, I don't want to search for a building or like run to the store like 10 minutes away, just want to have access to it.
That's our advice also. I mean, I'm already happy that there's like a change coming up, but that's what we get as a feedback. Yeah, we have it behind the reception, especially in high schools. I'm thinking like you're a young girl, you have to go to the reception, and there might be a male colleague, of course. So it's such a big barrier already, right? I mean, if you really want to make it inclusive and accessible, it should be like in every restroom, I think. But the change is coming, but maybe slower than we see in the UK, or like in US, some states is also like mandatory, like at schools. So I think schools are super important to change that mindset.
Because I feel like what I mentioned also before, it's education is one of those points where you're at the very beginning, you're just probably, especially as young women, you just got your first period, or you just starting to, your body starts to change, you're confused, you don't know what to do, you might feel a bit of a sense of shame around it. And then it's very important to just have the proper education about it, how to deal with it. And then, of course, you might be too embarrassed to ask.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if it's a given, it's much easier, right? Yeah. But do you think that Yoni can have any kind of impact on the education part, apart from having this platform that you talked about, having any kind of partnership with schools where you teach, or maybe you already do that?
Yeah. So actually, we thought about it a very long time. The schools are so important, and our insights also say that like there's like a class about sexual education. But I also think like menstruation shouldn't be on part of it, because it's a different. It's not really sexual education, right? I mean, so if I also got a lot of feedback, it's not that proper. We were thinking of setting up something ourselves, but we got approached by a company called Better Pad, and it's actually like Sue's, like she graduated from school, and she exactly had the challenges always, like who to ask. There's little education, and she experienced some also problems by herself. So she decided actually make this box. She calls it a dossier, let's say. So she prepared this educational material, but in the language of really for the young girls to understand.
That's
So when she approached me, I thought, yeah, this is it. We don't have to do it ourselves because it's much nicer if it comes from like a younger girl, of course. And there's also educational information, but we also put our products in it. So she's really busy with schools actually to expand that. And the first day it was online. It was sold out, like because
amazing.
Especially parents were buying it. I was super impressed, like dads, like mothers, like they were buying that for their kids. And she makes it like really colorful and nice, and you don't have to have shame about it, you know. And her language also linked with her Instagram page. So I'm really proud that Yoni is also in those boxes because as a healthy option. So that sometimes I think we cannot do everything ourselves, but partnerships are super important for us. So this is the way really educating I think young girls like with these packages. So and we contribute in our way. So
that's amazing. I'm just thinking about the fact that it's not only about schools sometimes not being able to teach young women about it, and in general, I keep saying young women, but everyone should be educated about it. But it's also sometimes parents. It's just an uncomfortable conversation, and it's difficult to have. And those type of boxes or any type of interventions, they just make it easier.
Absolutely, there are sometimes single fathers, for example, like things like that. So definitely, parents also need that. Like you said, be able to do speak the language of your kids, and but also I feel like. It's important to educate everyone, and then especially high school boys, and I feel like from my daughter, she said, oh, she's 11, she's in primary school, but she says we will get that education, I think, and the guys are already laughing about it, like it's already like stars boys. Like that. I feel like but what we also hear is also at work, for example. Let's say you are a team lead, you have some women in your team, they might be in. Like having heavy menstrual cycles, or they might be in premenopause. So we also get a lot of questions from companies that we work with. Like, can you have educational packages to train the teams how to deal with this situation? So we partnered again with Erasmus University with an expert, Maria Carmen Punzi, for example.
I know who that is.
You know the name probably. Like she has amazing training, workshop programs. So because we believe that having these partnerships are stronger than Yoni saying that. And then it's also more credible, I think, not the brand doing it, but the partners doing it. But we are just like connecting, the companies with the experts. So
no, but it's also, I find it, I respect the hustle. I respect the fact that companies do recognize it and they educate, which is amazing. It's an amazing initiative, and it's great that they involve those who know about it and not try to like handle it themselves or. It's just great. Exactly. But also, speaking of companies, because I also read about Scotland and them having free period products, which is amazing. Do you get approached maybe also by, because you mentioned schools, some offices, so business, I imagine it's more office kind of setup. Do you also get approached by like restaurants, cafes, those like public spaces to also provide some kind of period products?
Exactly. That's also nice. It's also changing. So definitely, like for example, Paradiso in Amsterdam is one of our partners. They have our dispensers, and they have even like in both toilets to be more gender inclusive. So definitely we see a lot of restaurants now also being aware, because it's part of like hospitality, right? I mean, you want to feel that your female guests are also feeling like it's at the right place, like they feel good about it. So definitely also we get approached by them.
Do you also, because judging by my experience with school, we just have the products and just like in little boxes that our school provides. Do you also provide dispensers themselves?
Yeah, exactly. So we also have different dispensers, but in the end we did a lot of research about this topic, and it was interesting because like companies or restaurants, they want to do it, but they are also still afraid, like that products might be misused or people might take home. And like we also explained, like we did a lot of tests actually. It doesn't happen. I feel like women wouldn't do this like to women also, right? Like I take the whole thing home and there's nothing left. So, but on the other side, also, I think if people take maybe extra, they need it at home.
Yeah.
It's maybe they are having challenging situation at home. But in the end, we have a partnership with a dispenser company, which is a Swedish company actually. And in Sweden, also a lot of schools have subsidies like to have these dispensers. So it's like hygienic, locked and safe. So we also, because we want to be, I mean, our goal is not to have dispenser or something. Our goal is like women have the products accessible. So some restaurants just put in a basket, like you say, but some of them want a dispenser.
Yeah.
But so we have a solution for every different type of need. So,
if I'm just an individual and I hear about the issue of period poverty, is it better for me to, because I know a few organizations that just collect donations as in just products, but you also mentioned some that where you can just donate the money and they do everything. What's better, do you think?
Yeah, so there are different needs again, like for example, we also work with armoedefonds, like this Dutch poverty funds, and they have this menstrual, how they call it, uitgiftepunten, so menstrual, like where points where people can just get freely these products, but they are like packages, like a pack of products. So this is more like easy, I think, for people if they have really at home problems, like they don't have they cannot afford it. They can in a like sort of in a discreet way, let's say, go get this. So that's really good way of doing it. So, but the other way is like, you can donate to armoedefonds or via Yoni, that products go to armoedefonds. In the end, like these products go to them. So that really solves a different problem, more like at home consumption. But like you can donate also dispensers, for example, then you make sure they are also in the class at school, more accessible. So there, I think we need a mix of all of these different ways to make sure that we eliminate period poverty in long term. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I haven't heard about period poverty for a long time. Yeah. I feel like I first started kind of researching about it, learning about it, probably like a year or two ago. I was participating in this project, and we were all they call it SDG ambassadors in our university, but it's just basically students, and each takes one of the SDG goals, and they create some kind of project or some kind of initiative surrounding that SDG. And one of the girls was focusing on reducing inequalities, and she first started talking about period poverty, and she was creating some kind of like collection point in our university for like period products to then donate to organizations that distribute them for those in need, which was, and I never thought about it. And then kind of started learning a bit more about it. And what I also learned about is the environmental impact of the period products and the environmental consequences of period products, which again, never thought about. But I know that I read that Yoni's products are better for your body. And then I'm guessing they're probably also better for the environment than the regular products from big corporations.
Yeah, so I mean, that was also for me a shocking fact. Like a normal, like a pad, like a period, like as 90% of pad is a plastic. So I mean, there's a lot of synthetics.
We put into our bodies.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. And then there's no regulation actually. Like you have to put the ingredients for period products on the package. Yeah. Like cosmetics is highly regulated, right? You have to put all the ingredients, but not with menstruation products. Especially even tampons have plastic layers. Like I couldn't imagine. I thought it's cotton, but it's not actually. So, and given like your vagina is one of the most absorbent parts, like we don't know the impact on your body, but let's say the environmental impact is huge, like a lot of plastic. So that was also one of the things, like it's not only good for your body, of course, like the plastics, like synthetics or like perfumes doesn't touch your body, but the products are like made from like biodegradable materials, like organic cotton is any case, like fashion industry is most of the time like under fire because cotton is one of the dirtiest crops actually. You need a lot of pesticides like to grow cotton and so on. So organic cotton is by nature like highly regulated. And we have like we use certified cotton, also organic cotton, which makes sure that whole production chain is like audited, like there are no like pesticides or any chemicals are in it. And also even like auditing companies look at the working conditions of the employees, like people, the farmers there. So it's actually like a win-win, you know, for your health, for your body, but also for the environment and for the also farmers, you know, who need to grow the cotton.
Yeah.
They work in better conditions. So and the products are biodegradable. So if the pads fall in the nature, so they will biodegrade. It's like not like plastics, which will take years and years. So that was very important also for the founder of Yoni, you know, like this environmental sustainability part of it. So.
No, it's amazing. I read Yoni is a B Corp, which is amazing. And I find it amazing that companies today manage to include both the social aspect, which is this like women empowerment, like supporting women and caring about women, and then this environmental aspect, which is amazing. And considering that not a lot is said about that in the media. It's amazing. You're also educating people about it because, for example, if I have not thought about it and then I went to the store and I saw on like a package of tampons or something like no plastic, like this tags like no plastic, no like added chemicals, something, I'll be like, huh, so do I usually have chemicals in them?
Yeah.
That would be my first thought, and I'll be like, oh. So it's already, even the packaging I think is educational, just for people to learn about it. Right?
Yeah. Also the packaging is like not from plastic. Packaging is also of course important, you know, it's a big part of the product in the end. So that's what Yoni believes in, like you said, like that people should make a conscious choice. That's more important for us, informed choice, you know. People don't have to choose Yoni, but they should know what's in their product. So that's the most important part for us.
I also read about I was so confused of why this taboo around menstruation even exists. I was because I'm like, there is always a reason for everything. So I'm like, where is it coming from? I read some papers about like, oh, years ago, like, doesn't matter. But then I thought about it, and then media today especially has such a power. Like everyone's on their phones, like in the city, we get a lot of information daily, and realistically media has a big impact on how we view certain things. And I thought about why didn't media at some point kind of started maybe exposing people more to like not the perfect picture that we like see on TV, like in an advertisement. Do you think media today have the power to maybe change some things and show people more things of like how about menstruation and kind of start breaking this unsaid silence around the topic a bit more? Or do you think it's still a lot of censorship and it's still not possible really?
No, I think, of course, I mean, there are two things. One is there's little research also, right? But I think media also selectively, of course, picks up the topics that are more fun or more interesting maybe. So instead of like getting these into taboo topics, for example, media talks about a lot microplastics and so on, more research and coming up. But what is the impact of these microplastics on the period products on us, you know? And there's little research, but it's also selectively, it's not, the cosmetics is the first thing that comes to mind, you know? Like sort of it's a topic people don't want to talk about it. It's not also for women, many women don't want to talk about it. I feel like it's not your
a bit ashamed of that maybe.
It's not your cream that you show off. You know, not you're gonna show off with your pads, I guess, or tampons, right? It's so interesting. Like it's a paradox, I think. Like on one side, women want to break the taboos, but they also don't want to talk about it. So I feel like that's why media is selectively censoring maybe some important conversations about periods. And I feel like I'm in the bubble. I see a lot, but. Because I'm already, of course, the algorithms show me more about these things. And that's why I think it's still changing. It's getting better, I think. But if there's like if media would like more positively say, hey, we're going to change this, they can do that also, of course.
At some point, I think I started reading more about it. My TikTok, which is my main source of educational materials at this point in my life, started showing me this American company called August. They like make menstrual products, and I was so fascinated not even by the products, because I knew about Yoni, and then I found August, and I was like, I see some, and also the packaging, the kind of the approach was very similar. But what I found fascinating is the way they approach marketing.
Yeah.
Because I grew up being used to like advertisements on TV, like with flowers and like the whatever blue liquid they pour on the pads, and I'm like, oh, fun things. And then this company, what they did, they were showing real blood. They were very, very open about what periods are and how it was basically just like this big education. It was promotion, of course.
Exactly.
But it also was a lot of education, and especially educating young women. And then you would go into comments, and there was a lot of girls asking some questions, because everyone's on TikTok.
Exactly.
So they were like asking questions, and the co-founder or like someone from the team was like answering all those questions, because they had questions about like, oh, how to do this, and they were like being taught everything. Do you think if there are more stories like this that are approaching people through like media that everyone uses, and giving the materials in the way that better maybe comprehended by the younger generation, the situation will be improving?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, more companies like that. Like we also always look at them and follow them. So, but also Yoni was like one of the first companies in the Netherlands then like showed the red liquids. I'm not sure, 10 years ago I was not here with blood, real blood was, but like not showing blue liquids anymore, but the red liquid. And the first campaign of Yoni was like in Leidseplein. There was a big billboard saying chemicals are not for pussies. That created a lot of like media questions. I know from Mariah, the founder, like a lot, finally like some like Linda's of this world, like, wanted to talk about the topic. So, but it's not that easy, you have to really put that to the face, like chemicals are not for pussies is a slogan, like exactly. So, but still 10 years, like it's getting better, I think, but you need more than this. So to reach like all the women, and not everybody is like, willing to maybe learn or look at this. Usually people get like pads from their parents or from their mother, and then they keep using it. It's not the product, like you have to really search about it and read about it to understand what's hidden behind it. So.
And if there was one thing that you could change about how the conversation around menstrual health is right now, what would you change?
I'm going back to the same topic, but research I think would help a lot. Like if there's more like scientific information on the menstrual health, on the products, so that will make it different, I think. Even like last year it was in the news, maybe you have seen like these metals in the tampons. There was a study. Again, it was not yet conclusive. There were like some findings, but there was like more needed. But still it starts the conversation, and that was the time like everybody started looking also and coming to us, hey, what's in my products? So the research really triggers, I think, like because it's a health topic. So we need more research about this, and also like you said, like more of these like maybe universities or like really amplifying the message. So that's important, so that people start looking for answers. Like I think that's maybe the thing. Not many people look for answers about their health or what's there in their products. We just continue. There's pain. It's okay. Like people find out many years later only they have like a really endometriosis or like any significant health problem.
And I think my last question is for all the listeners and viewers. If there was one thing that you wanted them to take away from this conversation for them, what would that be?
So I was thinking like, doesn't matter like you're menstruating or not. Like know that many people take menstruation with them, like everywhere they go. They are at the office. Like it could be a colleague next to you who's menstruating and really maybe sitting in pain, or it could be like at school, like a student, like a classmate sitting. Just be aware that menstruation is everywhere, and like support each other and mentally, understand. But also like we said, period poverty is an issue. Like support like people who don't have access period products. So know that it's like it's everywhere actually, everywhere we go.
It's everywhere. You cannot just, as we said before, you cannot really put it in the back pocket. You just have to accept that it's there. It's always there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for this conversation we had today. It was a pleasure. And thank you for everyone listening. It was Popping Bubbles podcast. It was Yoni and the CEO of Yoni, Deniz. Thank you so much, and until next time.
Good. Yeah. Like you said, it was fun.